How are y'all doing? Welcome to Green Card Guys TV. Let me know if you can hear me. I don't know why. Some days my mic doesn't work very well, but it does show green that it's working. Welcome, welcome. Of course, you're welcome to ask any questions. If it's very case specific, then I can't answer it. You'll have to call us. And here's our number right here, 346-330-5888. This show is for of course, information. If you need specific legal advice, you know who to call. But I can't. I'm sure you know by our state ethics, we're not allowed to share any legal advice specific to your case. But we're here to talk about your favorite letter C. Talking about Plan C. All right, friends. I mean, honestly, I think it's Plan E by now, at least. There's been so many proposals, but Plan C specific through the budget reconciliation process. All right. And as I'm sure you saw other videos about this, I think it's a joke. You want my take on it? I think it's a joke, unfortunately. Uh, whether you like it or not, Plan C so far says that it's only parole. There is no path to citizenship. There is no path to residency. There is no path to even a visa. I could be wrong, but I didn't see anything about that. Okay. And this shouldn't exclude, please don't think that this would completely exclude opportunity for those who have DACA or TPS. I do think if I had to pick any category for a bipartisan pathway, I believe it'd be for DACA recipients. Okay. Those of you who have DACA or you call yourself a dreamer, I wish I could call myself a dreamer. I'm not as young as you might think. That's why I got this little goatee going on here, friends. Let's see here. So, anyways, unfortunately, I think it's a joke. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you want parole at least? I mean, sure, it'd be great so that you don't get, a request to go to court for removal, deportation. That's great, at least. But here's why it could work, okay? It may seem, you may know this already, but because the previous two, Plan A and Plan B, were rejected because the Senate parliamentarian, Elizabeth, said that it would be a significant burden financially for Medicare, Medicaid, for example, or let's say food stamps, and the list goes on. If people get status, like legal status, okay. I know there are some questions here, and I'll get to them towards the end. By the way, if you are tuning in for the first time in our channel, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. We do offer a free 15-minute preliminary discussion, but we do show the secret code at the end. All right. So, of course, please stay all the way to the end for information. And of course, if you're busy, you can come back to the channel and you'll be able to see it later on. But you do need to provide that secret code to our CARES team when you call in or schedule on your own. Okay. Oh, there's some really good questions here. Okay. Let's talk about that. But yeah, we'll discuss more next Tuesday, specifically the history of parole and how this is even possible. But yes, it is possible, but it needs to be done through Congress. And I do think out of all these plans, Plan A, B, C, this is definitely much more likely to pass. But I honestly think that it's for you as an immigrant, this is BS, right? We want all the way. If I were in your position, I am very fortunate to be a U.S. citizen, but if I were your position, I want U.S. citizenship, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is you need to contact your elected official, your politician that's been voted to Congress, Senate, or House of Representatives, and let them know what you think. It can be in writing. You don't have to tell them your actual legal status. There's no requirement to fill that out on a form, not that I'm aware. If you need a sample letter, let me know. fill out the intake form down below. It's on our website, and you can write in the notes that you want a sample letter. Okay. And but yeah, this is basically a concession plan. This is basically the last ditch effort for you that could apparently allegedly would help 7.1 million people, which is a pretty significant amount. If Republicans were smart, they would agree to this because look, I mean, a lot of y'all living in homes, you're paying mortgage, you pay rent, you work for companies, you are the lifeline of America. Imagine how many landlords, banks will be super pissed if Republicans did not agree to this. And they would, and Republican, I mean, there are definitely anti-immigration proposals to kick people out of America. I've stopped talking about it because it's annoying, but I do want to share that in general. There are some senators, I won't mention names right now, but they're on my blacklist, basically. So if they ask me for rice, all I can say is pass a pathway to citizenship. It only makes sense for them. Okay. Um, let's see here. So yeah, it's a concession plan. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's see here. It's disappointing to me, frankly, but it's the worst. It doesn't mean that even if something passes this year or early next year, doesn't mean that the door is completely closed in the future for you to get status if Congress could pass something in the future. But look, it's already been 30 plus years since I believe since the last immigration reform law that was passed. Okay, I do see a question about like 245I. That's an example. Was that wasn't 30 years ago, but that was passed in 1996 when Bill Clinton was in office, and that bill actually, I may be speaking more about stuff outside than you want to know, but that bill is the one that created a 10-year bar. Okay, for example, I know some of y'all are affected by a 10-year bar. Unfortunately, I know some of y'all had to visit your ailing or family members or friends that passed away in your country, and you had to come back. And of course, you came back to America. Um, that's tough. So there should definitely be, and then that's what the Citizenship Act of 2021 proposed by Senator out of New Jersey, Bob Menendez, included waivers for the 10 years before having to wait 10 years, from what I understand. So things like that are important to be included in a bill because, again, you're likely a taxpayer, and I hope you're. By the way, you're supposed to pay taxes. Okay, this is one main reason that Republicans say that they are anti-immigration. Okay, it's ridiculous, but all my clients pay taxes, and if they don't, we would definitely remind them. So, and if you're saying, well, you don't have a social security number, I understand. You can apply to IRS for a ITIN, individual tax ID number. Because eventually, if for some reason, unfortunately, if you have to appear in immigration court, tax returns are a very, very important document, evidence that a judge would understand that you have good moral character because it's not automatic. I mean, there could be other things like if you have a crime, then that could knock off the good moral character. But um, that's usually like the top first documents a judge will ask for. Okay. Um, okay. Sorry, I went on my tangent there. Wasima, nice to see you. Your question, you're out of status. Can you apply for a waiver and file for our visa? Um, Everything's case specific. I have to take a look. Okay. If you like us to analyze your case, okay, if you're eligible, and that's what the free 15 minutes is for, friends. Check it out at the end of the show. We'll share the secret code. Okay. It's honestly just our way to show our love for you as a subscriber. We greatly appreciate it. And by the way, friends, even if you're new to a channel, if you love the content that we share with you, please click the like button. And if you're on Instagram, smash the heart button. Show some love, please. Please. Let us know that we keep going live or providing content for you. We do intend to. I just had a baby 3 months, or my wife had a baby 3 months ago, so we will eventually get back to sharing more videos about tips specifically when you file applications, for example, or expecting an interview, because we do understand everyone doesn't have the financial budget to hire an attorney. Um, let's see here. So, okay, so hopefully that helps, Wasim. I don't know your case specifics, but yes, in general, you could apply for a waiver. Hi, Ali, watching from Chicago. Oh, I bet it's good luck in the winter months. I know it's not snowing yet, but good luck out there. Let us know. Hey, let us know. Good point. Let us know where you're watching from. Okay. I always enjoy seeing where you're watching from. Trying to find a little bit more information about this Plan C because I know some of y'all asked. As far as I know, Mahesh, what's up? Nice to see you. Why? Okay, well, it's kind of relevant to your question. What happens to the parole to people after 5 years plus 5 years arrested and deported? I don't know what you mean by that. I'm assuming you mean you've already been arrested and previously deported. I don't know yet if that would include you, if or include people who are already deported but still here in America. Let's see here. Once I get the text of this proposal, we'll definitely share with you. But I didn't see that. Okay, in the information that I found so far. Okay, let's see here. If someone gets parole and they have a U.S. citizen spouse, can they adjust through 245I? Even if you didn't get this parole through Plan C, you could apply for for adjustment based on 245I. And if people don't know, 245I is one of those. I actually did kind of just mention this earlier. This is a pathway to get a green card, even if you entered America without a visa, and you can pay an additional fine of $1,000. Okay, so and you have to have at least had a petition filed on your behalf before April 30th, 2001, among other requirements. But I wanted to share that because who knows? I mean, it can include a petition filed by any family member that's, of course, eligible to file a petition. So, for example, it doesn't have to be a spouse that files the original petition before April 30th, 2001. We have a lot of clients that had one petition filed by their sibling, brother or sister, but let's say that priority date. So that's one thing to know. Okay. The second thing to know is when can you proceed to the next step? The default way is to wait for your priority date on the visa bulletin, but you can bypass that if you end up getting married to a U.S. citizen, for example. Relationship to a U.S. citizen is one of three um, relationships under immediate relative. So we've even had clients who the petitioner was a adult child over 21 years old, daughter or son, and that is also for immediate relative. Okay, or the other one is if which probably wouldn't apply in this situation for 245I. The other one is a parent, U.S. citizen parent, filing for their child who is under 21. Okay, and of course, some people have called in and asked about if you can apply for a stepchild, a son or a daughter under 21. Yes, only if the marriage relationship between your new spouse, your stepchild's parent, was before they turned 18. Okay, so there's a lot of different things to know. That's why we get through a lot in 15 minutes, but sometimes, if you have a bit of a more complex case, more from immigration history, we do offer a paid, I think it's a reasonable cost, but you can check down below, description box later, 15 minutes, or I mean 30 minutes or more for a paid consultation. Okay, friends. So Annette, hopefully I answered your question. That was a really long answer. I love sharing information. That's what this show is about. Okay. How long would parole be? That is what I was trying to find, Chris. I could not find that. But what I did find, what I believe it would be is probably perpetual, but you have to reapply for it after X number of years. That's usually how it is. I mean, parole right now, for the current parole options, it's every year, from what I understand. Let's see here. Yeah, everything I've read about this, it doesn't mention it. It's not, because it's not official yet. It's I think they're just going to talk to the parliamentarian and just see how it goes there. Um, there's no sense for them to write everything down as a bill if Senate parliamentarian refuses it again. So, but I did see something about the cutoff date being just January 1st, 2010, and they still say even then people who entered America before that cutoff date would be like 7.1 million people at least, which is a pretty significant. Okay, friends. Um, let's see here. Let me see if I can answer any other questions. Armin, nice to see you. Yep, Jazz, total BS. Unfortunately, trying to keep this kid friendly show. Otherwise, I would curse. Shamin, hello. Will the people with approved I-140 can adjust as permanent resident with this reconciliation parole, even if they have unlawful presence with overstayed visa without? Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying, my friend. Yeah, I was talking about this 245K provision the other day, a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it caps it at 180 days for violations. Okay, for like unlawful presence, for example, out of status. So hopefully you're not at that point yet, because if you're already at the close to the 180-day mark, it can't backtrack time for you, even if this parole is available to you. So that part is unfortunate. Okay. But just general information here. I do think, Shamin, if you're interested, you're welcome to schedule a consultation. No obligation, free 15 minutes. Wait for the free secret code at the end. And by the way, friends, if you're still waiting for it, I'll probably be on. Let me see how many questions left. Probably be on for another 5 minutes. Well, that's Shamin. I go one by one questions, okay? Y'all got to hold on, my friends. I don't answer all questions. I'm going to be honest. I don't answer all questions here. I don't think any immigration attorney on YouTube or attorney in general would answer all questions because, again, it's case specific. So we don't accept clients that are rude, to be honest. If you're going to be rude, we're not going to answer your question. One step at a time, please. I go straight from top to bottom. I think people can appreciate that. So please be patient. And I just answer your question. There you go. Okay. We're here to help people. Okay. You don't jump the gun just by telling me to answer your question. All right, one by one, friends. If I jump around, which I tried before, and then people said, "Why you jumping the line?" Okay, so please, one by one, please know that because we accept clients who are not rude, and I find that to be rude, to be honest. So hopefully you're not like that. But hey, that's why emails. It's better, to be honest, by phone or video because sometimes I'm reading text. Maybe you didn't intend to be rude, but I don't think other people would appreciate that. Okay, Armin, you're next, my friend. Initially, another chapter was included. Yeah, wastage. Yeah, other provisions were included in the Plan A and B for many other people, but they wasted it. So they have to go through. If they want to include those other provisions, it has to go through. What's it called? Bipartisan pathway. Okay, and that's likely not going to happen. For diversity visa, it should happen. I mean, that shouldn't be a contested thing, specifically if that's what you're asking about. Okay. Um, back to Shamin. Sorry, I jumped back. So yours is very case specific. We need to know the dates, for example. Any attorney will need to know the dates to understand specifically your situation about when the violation started. Okay, for unlawful presence, then they can advise you properly, and that cannot happen in a YouTube comment, unfortunately. It's very, very case specific. And honestly, my state ethics will not allow me to. Okay. Skull Wrath, what's going on? I know you commented before. Welcome back. For the 864, if the petitioner doesn't live with a co-sponsor for a couple months, can we still use 864? You know, to be honest, I don't really review. I don't know the rules of that off the top of my head. It does, household member, but I've never had to provide evidence that some household member was currently living with them. I don't think there'd be any evidence that could be helpful anyway. I mean, unless it's a statement, but you could have a statement. I mean, honestly, you could have a statement that shows the other person's name, your household member, but then they don't actually live there. So, but anyways, hopefully that helps. Can we still use A64? I think you still can. Um, the petitioner, I've never had to show a lease, for example, when we use A64. I mean, the A64A does require the address, but I've never had to provide any evidence to show that they're technically a household member. Okay. The petitioner and sponsor are siblings. Okay, I gotcha. Let's see. I hope that answers your question. Armin is okay. I think your question earlier was about DV visa. Is that part of existing Plan C? No, not that I know of. It's just talking about parole for people who are already in US. I don't know, and it is for people who are in US because it's talking about a cutoff date, right? January 1st, 2010. Yep, I answered your question already. Okay. Just making sure for people, if parole Plan C pass, can we travel outside US? Typically, anyone with parole in general, or even asylum, asylee status, and people who have DACA can apply for advanced parole I-131. So I would imagine that could be the same thing for this situation. That would be great. But there is no guarantee that customs officer will allow you back in. But having the advanced parole travel permit essentially will be helpful to you. Okay. I mean, that's a starting point. You definitely need that before you exit. With parole, can a undocumented adjust status if married to U.S. citizen? I mean, it depends on your situation. Okay, I'm trying to. Is your situation because you want parole so you can avoid the unlawful presence? There's also, like, similar to earlier. I've told people we need to know case specifics, facts about your situation, so I can provide proper advice. And of course, I'm not my Texas state ethics, and I'm sure other state ethics. We're not supposed to provide case specific information online. Okay, but in general, an undocumented married person without status, yes, can adjust to a married U.S. citizen or married to a U.S. citizen. The key factor here, friends, to Annette's question, is if a person entered with a visa. If you entered with a visa for your most recent entry, you do not have to leave America for the visa interview. And visa meaning for the green card, okay? And if you entered America without a visa, so sin papeles, no papers, then you do eventually have to go back to your consulate, or the U.S. consulate or embassy in your country of nationality. But before you do that, we advise, this is what we do in a consultation, is to make sure that you are eligible all the way through, not just for petition. Because someone could be eligible for a petition, step number one, but then not eligible for step number two for a waiver, which would be silly, right? Why would you do that? Why would you pay for step number one, but then you're not eligible for step number two? That's what we do at our law firm. We look at the whole picture, okay, from start to finish. What does it look like? We can't predict the future. We can't guarantee the outcome. No lawyer can guarantee. And friends, if you speak to a lawyer that guarantees some kind of result, specifically, even with a certain time, I have gotten calls from employers, from individuals telling me that, another previous lawyer they consulted with promised XYZ. I'm like, that's unheard of. I'm in a bunch of different groups of immigration lawyers. So that's also how I can corroborate this information. Okay. Everyone has different situation, but please be careful. This is my, what do you call this? Public announcement, PSA, I think it's called. Public service announcement, PSA. Please speak with a licensed attorney, and preferably someone who only practices immigration law for immigration questions. Please do not consult or hire a notario. I know probably some of y'all watching is a notario or notary or a consultant. More power to you, but please, for those who are not, I mean, not more power to you. Actually, it's a felony in Texas. I don't know about other states to practice law. It's not just filling out paperwork, friends. Okay, please be careful who you hire. It certainly doesn't have to be me. I know some of y'all probably prefer someone in person, face to face. We're in Houston, Texas. We do help people who live in other states or people who are outside America, but you know, pick someone that you're comfortable with, okay? But with a license, okay? Please. I don't want I really prefer I get a lot of calls where people that's why we're the immigration problem solver. A lot of people call us because their case got screwed up by someone else and sometimes by a notario or immigration consultant. Okay. So off my rant. I talk about this almost every time. Okay. But back to the questions. If your 3 or 10 year bar is up, then you won't need to file a waiver, right? It depends on your circuit where you live. Okay. Um, yeah, it really depends. It doesn't apply across the board for everywhere in the country, unfortunately. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, just a couple more minutes. Getting a lot. Jeez. Okay. That is definitely rude. Okay. How about undocumented immigrants between 2011 and 2021? I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm hearing you, Mahesh. There needs to be a solution for people in that during that time too, for sure. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have it only for people who have cutoff date January 1st, 2010. It does not make sense. I mean, with parole, you might as well ask for at least January 1st, 2021. I hear you. Yeah, no one's talking about essential work anymore, as far as I know. I mean, I believe Senator Alex Padilla might have a bill out there. Hey, friends, let us know where you're watching from. I see there's at least 59 of y'all watching right now. Let me know where you're watching from. You might not have a question, maybe you have in the future. We're probably going to release very, very soon, my friends, where you can call in with your question. Okay. I like to, have a little bit more interaction. I feel like I'm kind of talking to myself because I can't hear y'all, of course. Let's see here. Yeah, Mahesh, let's you got to contact your elected official. Hi, she LA, Denver. Hey, nice to see you. I wish I could live in Denver. Okay, Shameen, it looks like you have a separate question before I answer the other one. Yeah, waiver. You gotta check if you're eligible for waiver. That's what we do in the free consult. So call in, schedule. Okay, wait for the free code. It's almost coming. Yeah, you probably wrote this earlier. I did answer your question. Okay. Can you apply for lottery green card while I'm in asylum pending case? Expired passport. It should be irrelevant about your passport. But I hope you filed your asylum application within the 1 year entry date so that your out of status or overstay is told, is stayed. I mean, that's a legal term. Basically means it's forgiven at that time, but depends if you timely filed your application. So, friends, I know y'all have a question, and I just lawyers have to go like we have layers of concern. So that's the first one in this situation. So that's why there's a saying between lawyers. Y'all ask simple questions, but we have very detailed, long answers. Okay, so let's see here. In general, yes, you can apply for DV, from what I know. So check that out. Check out the rules on the state website, state.travel.gov, and look for diversity visa section. Okay. How about since 2001, been in the U.S. up to the current time? Is it covered to the parole? Not even have one relative and not married U.S. citizen, just yourself. Yeah, I mean, you don't need a qualifying relative or relative in general uh, to be eligible for the parole. From what I know, just you as an individual. So that's a good thing. And you entered before the cutoff date. Hopefully, you never left. Sounds like you did not leave. I think I did answer your question, Shameen. So that's why it does take some time, my friend. Okay. Um, but yeah, and to be honest, um, we do provide a we do so friends, the free 15 minutes is to point you in the right direction. If we can't answer your question, we'll tell you. Okay. Sometimes we have to give bad news because one person might not be eligible for something. But sometimes we also have to research more. Okay. And of course, we charge for that because it takes more time, unfortunately. But some things we can answer right off the bat. Okay. In the 15 minutes. Anyways, you heard Plan C will be protected for 5 years. Then you can renew 5 years. Then not sure what to do after that. Yeah, I have to read about more about it once it comes out. If it wouldn't make sense to only offer it for 5 years, 5 years, and that's it. Usually, parole is perpetual. You can continue renewing it, of course, until Congress removes one of those programs like this. Um, I think I answered this question earlier. Yes. I mean, typically with parole, you can apply for advanced parole, which is travel permission, travel document. Okay. Plan C would be, yeah, it'd be very helpful if Amita, if they bump it up to 2020, at least 2021, that'd be great. Um, you're welcome, Shamin. You're welcome. You're welcome. Email address. Well, you can contact, fill out the form down below. Our website, greencardguys.com. Go to the contact us page and we'll happy to see if we can point you in the right direction. It does take more time for consultation. Okay, Skull. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, we got a lot more questions than I thought. Hey, New York City, Boston, what's going on, friends? If Plan C date 2011, why can't seek up to 2021? Great question, Mahesh. Uh, it's because I'm getting a lot of messages here. Sorry, I have to answer my team while on the show. Currently, I have a consultation very soon. Okay, let me check. Um, okay, so sorry about that. Okay, question. Very good question, Mahesh. Why are they saying 2011 or 2010 and not? I could be wrong on that. I mean, nothing's solid yet, but I hope it's 2011, not 2010. Um, yeah, it's Republicans. They're just, I mean, I think if they're going to go through budget reconciliation, they don't need Republicans, right? Support. So it might as well be today, October 15th, 2021. And why January 1st, 2021, right? But the thing is because they don't want the government in general doesn't want to encourage people if they enter with the F1 or student visa, visitor visa, they don't want to encourage people to overstay. By the way, friends, there are options for people who have overstayed, and we'll cover that in a video next week, okay, in a live show. To answer your question, it's not specific from what I know. It's not specific to essential workers. It's just very broad. You have to have entered by before that cutoff date, okay? Petitioners, back to you, Skull. SA address was that of sponsor, but recently changed to another address. Would they check with the Social Security? Look, I don't believe they will check with Social Security. If anything, hopefully, knock on wood, I've only heard like one situation where they came to me afterwards and because a previous lawyer unfortunately did not provide the A64 in general, that in their case was denied. We had to reopen it for them. But in general, I don't believe they check SSA. But hey, I've never worked for the government with USCIS. I just don't feel like this is something that they would contest. To be honest with you, they have a lot more issues to review, like inadmissibility. Household member form is not going to be one of those, so don't freak out too much about that. Okay, if anything, they should send you another request for evidence, asking for another form or another joint sponsor. Okay, if not qualified. So not everything about this process is that's why we answer these questions here because it may not require um, full on representation. So that's why we have this show for you, y'all. Skull, you're welcome, my friend. Lexon Barbosa, you are from Boston. Nice to see you. Hopefully, it's not snowing there yet. Ramold, will Senate Parliamentarian approve Plan C? That, my friends, is the $1 million question, or I guess 7.1 million people question. Claudette, nice to see you again from New York City. Why New York City? Awesome. Great to see y'all. I love New York. I went there for law school. CUNY, City University of New York. What will happen to other undocumented immigrants that don't, I'm assuming your rest of your question is that don't meet that cutoff. I mean, if this Plan C gets approved into the reconciliation, then you probably have to wait for another bill in the future, unfortunately. Is Plan C going to include green card recapture? As far as I know, no, because they're only talking about parole. Parole is basically temporary status, but it's not permanent status like a permanent resident card, for example. You're welcome, Mahesh. Any advice for H-2B entry, but weren't able to renew it by the agency? In other words, I screwed up the status. Sorry to hear that, my friend. That's more case specific. So please, if you have questions about that, please schedule a consultation, okay? Wait for the free code. Almost there. Almost there, my friends. One more minute. What happened to the undocumented immigrants that came after 2011? Yeah, I mean, you just have to wait for another bill. Y'all have to, please, fill out the form down below and ask for the sample letter, okay? So that you could petition, basically. You can protest, inform your elected official, your politician, that you care about this. If you're concerned and you don't want to let them know because you don't have status, get your neighbor to do it for you, okay? Or, get someone else who's a U.S. citizen or permanent resident or DACA recipient, TPS holder, okay? It doesn't have to be you, but we need more people to tell the politicians, this is what's up. Plan C is BS. We need more than that, okay? Okay, don't depend on them. Email address, yeah, fill out the intake form down below on our website, and then, it'll go through the process, and our cares team will get back to y'all within 24 hours of business day. Almost there. One more question, and then we'll get to the secret code. Why 2011, now 2021? Yeah, Rupert. I think that's ridiculous. They're just being weak. Democrats are being weak. They need to step it up. Okay, friends? Mahesh, you're welcome. Yeah, Plan C is crap. I agree with y'all. Okay, here it is, friends. The secret code. Oh my goodness, you could have guessed it. Green card guys, okay? Utilize it, access it. You have unlocked the free 15 minutes. Friends, by the way, we do have a Facebook group, Green Card Guys Academy. We share more information there. And by the way, I do want to share real quick. I have a minute to share with you a success story and mandamus lawsuit. You probably heard me talk about this before. We have some of the cases we accept, for example, for under mandamus, is really mandamus is tell the government, yo, agency, you are taking too long, way too long to set up an interview or give a decision. Now, we can't force the government to say, give us approval. That would be wonderful. But knock on wood, we've gotten approvals. Sometimes we'll ask for a request for evidence, even though the government already has that information. I know it's silly, but this is very helpful. Okay. Mandamus is an option, especially if your asylum application has been pending for at least 4 years. Okay. That would be what we call unreasonable delay. Okay. We get it. There's thousands of asylum applications, but look, it shouldn't take 4 years or more for your interview to occur. Okay. And then if you have, so anyway, we just filed a lawsuit against the government, 2 of them, at least, that just got the response from the interview date as a response. We got it in less than 30 days, my friends, after we filed the lawsuit. Okay. In those 2 situations, our clients were waiting for 5 years, respectively, for their asylum interview. Of course, if you think your asylum case is weak and not that strong, you definitely should speak to an asylum attorney that handles asylum, and we'll refer that person the contact information for you. I just can't say it here unless that person is a guest, but you can see in my channel who that could be. But what was I going to say? There's a lot I can say, but you need to evaluate the strength of your asylum claim before we recommend that before we file a mandamus lawsuit against the government to speed up the decision or for interview. Okay, friends. But yeah, we got the interview date in less than 30 days after the filing lawsuit. Oh, and another success story for mandamus. We had a client who was waiting for interview to become a U.S. citizen and been waiting for 3 years. Usually, if you're already a U.S. citizen watching this or you're going through the process right now, it usually takes 12 months wherever you are in America. Usually 12 months, maybe a little longer, but not 3 years, not 36 months. That's ridiculous. So we sued the government and we got the interview date in less than 30 days also. So we are talking about results here, but we cannot guarantee outcome for you. That's the truth. I'm not allowed to, as a licensed lawyer, to promise any guarantees. That would not be correct. That would be not moral. So hopefully got some value out of that. Okay, friends, the secret code is right there. I do see one more question, Christopher. And let me see if I can put down the code here. Christopher, let me see if I can answer it. It was 2K specific. Yeah, hi there. You are in the U.S. with tourist visa for 20 years. You're out of status. Pay taxes, essential worker. Thank you so much for your service, Christopher. Will Plan C go? What I think it means, I think you're asking, will Plan C be helpful for you? Again, it's not looking at what kind of job you have. All right. Right now, it's only based on cutoff date. So if you're saying you've been here for 20 years, you'll be fine on that. But there are no specific details yet. Once we get it, we'll roll it out to you. We'll release it, and hopefully that helps. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, and y'all have a wonderful weekend. Please travel safely if you are traveling. And anyway, until next time, please stay safe.